Oh, what's happening, y'all? It's your boy 3 Stacks in this thing, and we all representing Team King of Games. So we went to Dallas Regionals today, and we just got back. Kind of tired. Please excuse that. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not that tired. You know, I slept.
22 hours. 22. I've been up for 22 hours, man.
And I've been sleeping in your car, man. So I'm good. I'm good. But my boy Carlos, he took a True Draco Zeus today, and I kind of argued with him last night, like, bro, let's just do this. Play True Draco Zeus instead of Pure. I just felt like, you know, I had my own personal input on it. Like, True Draco Zoo just has higher ceiling than the Pure. It kind of does everything else, but it has an overextension to your plays just in case a hand trap stops you. Where your Shuffle of Reborn would come in, that's where the diagram comes in, the heritage, and, you know, the big guys. But, man, I like how the deck works. Go ahead, man. Take it from here.
Yeah, 2 Rat. Really good card, obviously, for the Zoo combos, but also it gives you that extra monster on field. And if you do get, you know, Ghost Ogre or something, you have that lone rat there, it's tribute fodder for your True Dracos. Yeah,
if it was pure, you would have that barrage and you lose.
Yeah. 3 Whip, probably the best non-XCC.
Probably.
No, well, I don't know. Rat's pretty good, and Ram's really good in this build
Ratatouille.
too. But
Queen of Snakes.
But this is essentially non-targeting banishing, so this is really good. This gets rid of just about any problem that every other deck can't get rid of.
But if I was playing it, I'd love it.
Oh yeah.
2 Ram.
4 Ratatouilles.
2 Ram for the diagram combos and the rat combos. Some nutty ass combos you could do with that in diagram. 1 Thoroughblade. I like the drawing effect, but obviously we're not playing the pure, so just 1. You know, you get the attack and then, you know, the 1 draw. He's also just another Zoo. 1's fine since it's not the pure build. For the Draco lineup, 3 Knuckles.
Ooh, baby.
I like this card
right here.
Because I like this card because it lets you play during your opponent's turn. You obviously search the traps, and you can use the traps to tribute during your opponent's turn, or, you know, if you tribute the trap itself, you get a pop. So this lets you play during your opponent's turn, so it disrupts them, right? So 3 Knuckles.
Better than Masterpiece.
Better than Masterpiece.
actually, yeah. I think if they ban this card, the deck is dead.
Yeah, it really is.
You can have 3 Masterpiece, but if you can't disrupt your opponent during his turn, like,
you would have to like search Masterpiece and the trap first.
Yeah, honestly, if they ban Masterpiece and they leave this card, this deck is still very
awesome.
Playable, very playable.
So we got Clay Matthews and then
1 Ignis,
Whiskey Fireball
to search the heritage to plus. Really nasty stuff you can do with heritage. I'll tell you guys about a little thing I did a little later.
No, you could tell them right now.
So I had a set Disciples, right? And I was staring down at a Tyranno, 3500 Tyranno. And we were in turn, so I was turn 3, the guy was going to be 4, and I was going to end 5. And I had a set Disciples, and that was it. And I drew into a diagram, and I was like, shoot, well, the only play I could do is pop Disciple, search heritage, and draw 1 off of the heritage. And
y'all, guess what he top decked?
Of course, the best top deck in the world, Raigeki.
He literally top decked Raigeki.
So I top deck Raigeki. I Raigeki the Tyranno, and I just passed, and the guy couldn't do enough damage.
And he was down by 5,000 life points.
Yeah, I was up by like 5,000. He just, without the Tyranno, he couldn't put the damage out. So this really good to search your heritage. You often neg with your diagram, so you want to get those, you know, those heritage to get your cards back. The 1 Masterpiece is really good because he's really hard to out, but you don't absolutely need him.
Yeah, I like your theory on it, how it's like you don't need him to win.
Yeah, you don't need him to win. That's what I'm saying.
What?
That's what I'm saying. If they ban this card, the deck is still alive. I don't know that it'll be tier 1, but it's a very playable deck. This is just like, you know, the end all be all, you know, waste your resources on me, you know, but you don't need them to win. So
overextend.
Yeah, 1 is fine. Hand traps, 2 Ash.
This card's so beautiful, man.
2 Ogre.
Beautiful.
And 1 Maxi.
Beautiful.
all of them obviously very relevant in the meta. Very important against the zoos. Very important against everything and everything that's not.
I think
true
ogre
Draco.
is like zoo murder, man.
Yeah, no, ogre is definitely zoo murder. His the barrage, you can get rid of their XCs. And you need to do that because if you're playing, say, if you have your own Dryden and the one pop's not going to be enough. They're going to have their extenders, so you're going to need something else. So you need your hand traps to help really stop them because your one Dryden's not going to stop us. They have way too many extenders. So that's it for the hand traps. Onto the spells. 3 diagram. And
double D's, baby.
And of course with it the 3 terraforming. To search your diagram. You want to see your diagram so you can go into your Draco place or you pop your Rams. Your 2 tankies. Tanky was at 2 just because we were trying to cut it down, but I don't know. Sometimes I feel like Tanky's even better than Barrage, just because the effect off the rat to ditch the ramp can be very important. Whereas you don't get that if you do the Barrage, but 2 Tanky was fine for the true Draco
Masterpiece
build.
food.
Tributed
for Dracos.
Yeah, and it's a continuous Barrage.
Woo!
Free zoo monster. Also food for Masterpiece. You can tribute it for any of your true Dracos, and in the grave you can use it to activate your Masterpiece effect.
Bro, did you see that zoo player savaged this kid? Like he just needed to do 600 damage, and like the zoo player he interrupted every single card he had. He saved the barrage. He barraged for Thoroughblade and then put Borbo on top of it. Was like a game.
Yep.
I was like, what the heck, man?
Yeah, and that's what I mean by, the zoo deck has way too many extenders. That's why you need your hand traps, because your Dryden or your Masterpiece alone is not going to stop them, because they're going to bait out all your disruption, and then they're going to go Barrage or normal summon zoo monster.
They really need to bait it, because the only ways to go into plays is either to normal a zoo or play Barrage.
Yeah, and so, you really need to run all those hand traps. For the Draco spells, we run 2 of each.
It's perfect.
I think so, because we were talking about this last night. You don't want to open up multiples of each, so 2 is fine. 3 seems like too much, especially since you're trying to make room for your zoo engine as well. 2 and 2. This card is so good. This card is so good.
Like when you play against a Draco player, you're gonna play so hard off your heritage.
No, definitely.
Like Dryden pop that. Okay, you can get that draw.
2 desires, more pluses.
Shame on you! I shame you! How dare you!
And you run the 2 again. You don't want to draw multiples. You don't want to draw the second one off the first one. So 2 to minimize all those risks. And also, really the only card that you'd probably banish all of his Masterpiece, because you only run one of him. But like I said earlier, you don't need him to win. You have your entire zoo engine and the true Dracos.
I've seen you search Masterpiece first, then Desires.
It doesn't always hurt. Yeah, you can do that. But even if you can't search your Masterpiece first, you're not scared of banishing it, because you don't need the Masterpiece to win. He's just like the cherry on top. Yeah, he's the cherry on top. The Regeki,
yes, sir.
You draw it off of heritage, you win.
Yeah, that's how you do it, son. You draw it off of heritage, you win.
Yeah. For the Draco traps, 2 return and 2 apocalypse.
This is better than return.
It's better than every
better.
card.
It's like the best stalling, most annoying freaking card ever.
Damage that.
It's funny because usually when I had the Knuckles, I would search the other one. If it lived long enough, I would search the second one. And most of the times I was popping my return off of this instead of, trying to keep my return live. Just because, it helps you grind out the game if you need to stall out, to draw into your combo pieces. And then if, you pop the return, you're going to get to pop a monster if you want to. So
that's another way to outconduct her in the battle phase.
Yep.
Damage that.
So that's it for the Draco traps. 3 strike.
Stop them hand traps, boy.
Yeah. Shout out to Claudio for lending me the 3rd one. Yeah, we were talking about it yesterday. I actually always considered running 3, but I just didn't have the third one. But he lent it to me, so I'm definitely running 3. And to Quaking, I won at least
Told you, bro.
3 games because of this card. If you're playing a Zoo player that's not too experienced, and they have their Xyz monster in the extra monster zone, you win.
Then after that, it's just like Thoroughblade, Whiptail, pure Spanish, pure Spanish, pure Spanish.
Yeah. There was also a second game that I was playing against an ABC player where I Quaking his ABC Buster, and it was downhill for him from there. So it's really good because people, when you're playing Zoo or True Draco, people don't expect the Quaking, especially in your main.
Oh,
and so they'll attack without fear because they figure if you didn't stop their combo, then it's not a strike back there, and you're probably not running mirror forces. Because most people don't.
Mirror forces.
Because most True Draco, Zoo, or variants of those don't main these, and so they attack without fear, and they got.
They just think you're only gonna use Apocalypse.
They go fuck.
Wait. What does that card do?
So
then they be like cards in hand, cards engraved.
This card was not only good; it was the surprise factor that really got people. That on top of the fact that the card was good. For the extra deck,
little conductor. Yep.
3 Dryden.
But did not care about Lithosogen.
Nope. 3 Broadbow.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to run 3 Chakanine, but I'm having a really hard time finding space for it. So most of the times I just prioritize, getting this back when I, shuffle stuff back with either my Emerald or sometimes if it comes up the Mrs. Radiant, just because I only run 2 of those. But for the most part, 2 is just fine.
Mm-hmm.
2 Tiger.
Tiger's the MVP, man.
Yeah, Tiger and the double Dryden plays is really good. Or just, when you're in time, just to attach that Thoroughblade to get the extra damage.
Man.
So that comes up
attach
very
a third
often.
material to Emerald. Bam.
That.
So clutch.
1 Boar and 1
Boar
Hammer.
for game, man.
Yeah, Boar and time for game. People always say that it never comes up in time.
You're tripping.
Yeah.
It's the best card to go into time
with. Or they just say, the attacking directly never comes up. But it does. It's come up for me at least once at every regionals I've gone where I can attack directly for game. Yeah, attach with Tiger and attack. 16 directly is a lot in time. So not to mention if you have the whips in hand or on field.
Whiptail that off.
Hammer Kong to protect your Tridents.
Mm-hmm.
Very important. For the non-Zoo Xyz, Emerald to recycle back your Zoo monsters, because we're not running combo since we're not running the pure build. So we need some way to bring back our Zoos if we absolutely need to.
Mm-hmm.
Biz Dweller, because it's good against True Draco and Dinos.
No babies.
Yeah, the thing about the Zoo extra is that you run so heavy on the Zoos that you have so little space for text, and this just is the most well-rounded for the current meta. It's good for Dracos and True King Dinos, and then last but not least, Mrs. Radiant, just because it lets you go into Nutty Xyz's place. You can play without Mrs. Radiant, but Mrs. Radiant just lets you extend further if you have to.
Y'all told me last night, add Max C back to hand.
Oh, yeah. Really. If this gets destroyed, add Max C, because Max C's an Earth.
They're going to ban Mrs. Radiant.
Yeah.
And they're going to ban Max C.
Yeah, no. Dad, don't tell nobody, guys. Side deck. 4 Kaijus, all different names because we do run Slumber. Slumber does get hit by Ash, but even if it does get hit by Ash, you can just banish it from the grave and search a Kaiju the next turn, and you can still maybe you might be a turn behind, but at least you'll still be able to out that the masterpiece or whatever it is that you needed out. So even if this gets hit by Ash, you're still gonna be able to get a kaiju next turn to out whatever problem. So it's okay.
Hit a lot of freaking cards, man.
2 dark holes just because they don't get hit by Ash.
Because they don't get hit by Ash.
They don't. And sometimes you just need to clear, the board, especially with the zoo players. They're spamming out their boards every turn. So you need to have a board wipe or some way to clear their board every turn. 3 Saphion for the True Draco match. That way you return their stuff instead of destroying it and sending it to grave. Good against the Paleos and the Chainburn because you always at the worst case scenario you're forcing them to chain at the most inconvenient time, right? If they can't chain, then it's all gonna go back into the deck and you win.
You win.
You win. 3 Anti-Zoos.
It was so much. You guys don't understand, man. It was so much zoo players today. It's like.
It's so cheap now, so everybody thought they could play.
Yeah, everybody that was poor, all the poor people are playing Zoo now.
Yeah, ended with a 46k chalk and 9.
46k chalk and 9.
That shit happened to me.
But yeah, you for the Zoo matchup. I mean, I guess you could run it in Dino against the Dino deck, but there's better cards. I mean, this is for the Zoo. I really only sided it against
too much Zoo players.
Yeah, and yeah, like literally. Everybody was playing either True Draco Zoo or Zoo, so this card.
Like literally, man, it was like True Draco, Zoos, Dinos. Then everything else is just random. Oh, and Trick Stars.
I've seen a couple of ABCs.
And a couple of ABCs.
And last but probably most important, Imperial Order. Yeah, this one's games. I won games with this, even if they were able to out it. That same turn, it stopped them enough so that you gain more advantage. There was a time where I activated this in response to their diagram, and they were able to out it that same turn, but it had already negated their diagram, so it didn't even matter.
It served its purpose.
And I didn't take damage because they decided to get rid of it then. There was another game where I chained this to a dark hole, and I saved my zoo board. He couldn't play through my zoo board. And then the next turn, I just, pop it with Dryden, and then I go off with my barrage and stuff. And then I win game. So,
Me like.
Yeah, this card, you have to be careful with it because you do pay a lot of life points.
Bro, Boca's killed himself with that.
Yeah, but this card, I mean, that's not really a bad stipulation when you consider the fact that both your main engines pop cards. Your Trident pops cards, your Masterpiece pops cards,
and you
contribute it for your Ignis, your Knuckles, and so you don't care that you're gonna pay life points because you're gonna get rid of this whenever the hell you want to. So this wins games. Even if you just stop them for the one turn, that's usually just enough to win the game. So that's the deck profile, guys.
What you got over there, Carlos?
Well, this is my token. This is my Kaiba token.
That's sexy.
Yeah, this is my Kaiba token.
All right, man. Thank you guys so much for watching. These are some of our team members from Team Giga Games. We're trying to get y'all familiar with their faces. So you guys will be hearing a lot more from them and seeing a lot more of them. Thank you guys so much. God bless y'all. Make good choices. Don't hurt your brain cells. Hey, shout out to Yadalak, man. We got a couple of our fans that I actually got to meet today. And shout out to Yadalak, man. He's always like watching our videos and commenting and, saying really, really nice things about us. And I finally got to meet him today, which I found was pretty cool. And shout outs to you guys, man. Like, thank you guys so much for supporting the team. And we're at 3,000 subscribers, finally. I meant to do a video, to show appreciation. I'm still planning on doing that. And we're going to need to do some stuff for MetaMat